Next step is the fun part. We are going to weave. And the technique that I will show you here in weaving called twining. So for this stitch, you will need to cut your rope 6 or 7 times more than the width of your project. And the reason for that is because we're going this direction and then coming back, and you want to have enough rope. So fold it in half, and let's attach it to your very first strand right there, a vertical strand, which in weaving called warp. So first warp, and then crisscross your working cord and send it behind the next warp. Now crisscross again and send it behind and around the next warp. And continue like this until you reach the end. Crisscross, send around and bring up front. When you reach the end, I'll meet you there and show you how to turn around. Now that you reached the end, you would like to turn around and go the opposite direction. To do that, take your string that is on the back right now, bring it forward around the second warp, and then you will continue in the opposite direction again. The one that's on the back goes around behind the next warp string, and so forth. And you see how you are creating sort of as a braided effect here. But you're doing more because you're reinforcing this curved line right here, so it's more sturdy and doesn't bend around on you too much. Now that you reach the end, you can leave these hanging, and we will address all the loose ends on the back later. Now I will repeat the same twining technique only underneath this line. And instead of pushing down when you are twining, you will be pushing up. So attach your cord, crisscross, send the first one behind, bring it up. Next one goes behind, and just push it up. And you will be able to push it up even later after you completed your twine. So don't worry about pushing it up right away. That is what's great with weaving. It's kind of forgiving, and you can push your stitches around. So as you can see, I can go back and just push it up later. So again, continue in the same way all the way to the end, and come back, and you will have the same braid up here, and I'll meet you there. Now that I finished on this side, I just went ahead and wrapped my strands around here just so they don't unravel on me, because when they're hanging down, they will pull your stitch down. So just keep them wrapped up, and then we'll deal with them later. And here is what you should have so far. Next, we will work on these empty sections on the bottom and on the top. I like to work from the bottom up, so I will start from the bottom. When I said that I like to work from the bottom up, I meant in weaving. So here I have a bunch of the scraps that I have cuttings from these pieces when I was doing color and from the fringe. and I would like to use them. So I will create a couple of rows of raya knots right here, only I will cut them really short so they create a nice fluffy fringe right here. And here I will do the same combination of colors. So I will do dark blue, light blue, teal, and lighter colors. So I cut these to about 4.5 inches long, and I will create raya knots on the bottom right here. And I will do a couple of rows of those. All right, so I think you got the idea. So when I do the next row, I will alternate my colors, or rather my strings, my warp, and I will do the raya knot right here. On top. And let's see, I might just do the lighter blue in this area. And I will continue to the end, and then I will meet you there so we can cut this little fluffy fringe and see what's going to come out of it. All right. So here are my 2 rows of raya knots with the short string, and as you can see, they're all uneven. But what I will do, I will just cut them shorter, and at this point I'm not gonna worry about them being all nice and even. I just want to see what it looks like. And when we start weaving on top of these, they will be held down and they will not go anywhere. So all this nice fuzz we can trim even shorter later if you want to, and make them nice and fluffy. Next, let's do the sumac stitch. And I will be using for this a piece of rowing, and this is Tusa silk, I believe, and it's not real silk, it's just probably some acrylic man-made, but you can use any rowing or just the cord and create your own design from here on. But let me show you what sumac stitch looks like. I usually start with putting my end through behind the first warp and through the next, and have some tail hanging on the back so I can tuck it in later. Now I will take the longer part and I will go over 2, and what it means, I will skip these 2 warps and I will go up front of the third, around it, oops, and then I will skip the 2, take the third, go up front and around, oh, my fringe getting cut, and do it pretty loosely so you have very loose loops right here. Again, I will skip 2, 1, 2, and this is the third. I will go up front and around. And again, I skip 2 and go up front and around on the third. I'm picking up some cuttings here. Do it pretty loosely so you don't pull your warps too much. And to turn around, because I want to turn around at some point, you can go all the way down, but I want to create sort of like a mount here to mimic this wave. So I will go over the next one right here, or let's say second right here. And I will turn around and go in the opposite direction. So you see here I was wrapping about this warp. I will wrap about this one right ahead of it this time. And again, I go up front of it and then go backwards. And again, here's the one that I've wrapped about, and this is the one in front of it. And one more time. And here I will go actually all the way back to the first one. And let it sit there very loosely, and I'll just send it back. So now we have this sort of fluffy braid right here, and we can work around with other stitches to add to it. Next, I will show you how to do a tabby stitch. So let's say I want to make a little mound right here with the different texture and just the cord that I have. And I have this piece of cord that's kind of longish, so I want to use it. It's a scrap, and I will use the needle for weaving to make it easier. So because my lighter blue starts right here, I will start on this portion, and I will go from the back and just weave in between my warps right here until I reach the white area. I'm gonna leave some of the tail hanging on the back so I can tack it in later. And here's my warp that is connected to the white fluffy part, and I go around it and up front of the one that I have went on the back of. So this warp was wrapped from the back. Now I'm wrapping in front of it. Now this warp was wrapped from the front. I'm going to wrap behind it and the other way around. Okay, so here's where we started. And I will go the opposite direction again, up front of this one, behind, up front, behind, up front, behind, up front. And this time I will stop a little short of where I started or ended at that time. and I turn around here and go back. You don't have to pull too hard. If you leave it too loose, or not too loose, but loosely, you can push it down so you won't see the warp in between as much. And actually, I forgot to mention, if you don't have one of these tools, you don't really need to have it. You can weave with your hands, and I will do it right now. I'll just go back here, through, back, through, and push it down. And I'm almost to the end, which is fine. I'm just making shapes. I send this to the back and I end it right here. So I have a little shape in this area. I push it down with my hands. In weaving, you will have different tension with your warp, of course, and you can use the beater to beat your warp down. But here it's pretty loose, so you can just push it down to have this area create a little color patch. So what shall we do next? As I said, it's completely creative freedom here, and you can do whatever you want using the techniques that I showed you. So right here, why don't I bring this minty light color over here, but I can do the sumac stitch, except I will use the regular cord. So I will do about this length, and I want to go back and forth, so I will do double or triple. Let me do triple just to be sure. And then because I want to do a different texture and not just do one strand, I want to do double. So I will double that length again right here. And this is how much I will cut. So remember, we started sumac stitch from that direction, and I will start it from this direction. Why not? So I will go around on the back, up front of one warp and on the back, and I will leave some tails hanging, and I will go two over the third one, behind, up front. Again, I will leave two, go over the third one, behind and up front, and repeat it. Remember doing it really loosely. And I didn't cut enough. Well, that was supposed to be even longer, but oh well. So here I will go up front of this one and just turn around and go backwards. Yeah, well, that was just about enough. Okay, so do you see this sumac stitch right here with the roving? It's really fluffy. Here is done with just the cord, and it just creates completely different texture. And that's what you want. You want just do a lot of different textures. That's what Macroweave is about. It's just alternating all this texture to create different interesting results. Here we have fluff, here we have different fluff, here we have cord, and here we have cord too, but all of these are so different textures. So you can do whatever textures you like, or you can do everything just with the tabby stitch and make it flat. But it's just so interesting what you can come up with just knowing a couple of stitches and using them. Okay, so at this point you got the idea. You just do what you like and use different textures and different fibers like rowing or your cord. And right now I'm just going to do another shape in the same stitch I showed you here, which is the twining stitch. Just to show you that twining stitch can be used in other applications, and it doesn't have to be just for enforcing your lines or starting or ending your project. Now I will turn around, not quite at the same place where I started, so I can create a little bit more of a dome shape right here. And again, I will turn around a little bit earlier here and go the opposite direction. So as you can see here, you can use the stitch in multiple layers, not just one. And by turning around earlier and going back and forth, you're creating a different shape that is going this way rather than straight up and down. Next, I will do a tabby stitch and I create a shape right here with the darker color. Now I will add a little bit more of the Tusa silk right here in this area, and I will probably do the sumac stitch. And I think I will leave it at that. I will not go the opposite direction and just add some more different color in here. What should I do here? Probably blue. I can add some blue rowing right here. Let's see what we have here so far. So I added some dark blue rowing right here in sumac stitch and tabby stitch right here with just cord and another twining stitch right here. So this area now is finished. Now I will move on to this area. I'll finish it off the camera and show you what I've done. I will be using the same stitches I just showed you and that I used right here. And here's what I made on the top. So again, we have sumac stitch right here, and right here with rowing and just cord, tabby stitch, and the twining stitch right here. So let's turn our work around and tuck in the ends. As you can see, it's quite a mess, but it's easy to tuck in your ends. Just weave them straight in. Like this. Or with cord that ends on each side, if you have two tails hanging on each side of the warp, I just tie them up, clip them, and use a little bit of glue to keep them in place. And that's it. So I'll finish it up and then I will see you again. And here is the back with all our ends tucked in and looking much better. And here's our final piece. A baby Sea of Cortez. And this is it, folks. This is your final piece. If you end up making something similar or recreating this particular piece, please do tag me on Instagram or on the Facebook page in our group so I can see your creations. I hope you enjoyed it and thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Ciao.